We're back with a bonus conversation with Congressman Andy Kim. So you're now in the home stretch of this campaign. What have you learned now so far in the campaign that you didn't know before you started campaigning for the Senate?
Yeah, well, I started this just a little over a year ago. I wasn't planning on running for Senate, but we had this crisis with our senior senator being indicted for bribery and corruption. I think the main thing that I learned is that people are really hungry for a different kind of politics. That's why I stepped up to try to show that we can have a politics of integrity. 84% of people in New Jersey surveyed believe that their politicians are corrupt. And I think a lot of people felt kind of apathetic. They were just, my neighbors were like, that's Jersey. But I think what we've been able to show, not only did I stand up against the senior senator, I stayed in the race despite the most powerful political family in New Jersey running against me, but I also sued the state of New Jersey to fix a broken ballot system that was unfair, and we won.
And you won, yeah.
And we won. And so I think that's given us a lot of hope that we are on the verge of a new era of politics in New Jersey.
Has anything surprised you about this campaign?
Well, there are a lot of people that did not imagine a year ago that I would be the Democratic nominee, a week out or so from Election Day. But I think the thing that surprised me, is just how we were able to build the coalition that we needed to. I had someone a year ago literally look me in the eye and say I'm the wrong kind of minority to win statewide in New Jersey. I just found that to be so shameful. I can appeal not just to people who look like me, but I can appeal to, I'm as American as anybody else. I have every bit as much right to represent this state as anybody else. As a Democrat that won a district, Trump won twice. I hope I've shown that. So, that's what's been really exciting, seeing that coalition come together.
So to many of us, and certainly the polls, it appears we're a nation that's divided. Have you found that to be the case as you campaign in New Jersey? And if so, what do you think can be done to bring us together? I mean, there's so much hate, there's so much division.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, we are divided. And as I said, I represented a district that Trump won when I was in the Congress. And so the thing that I say that we really need to break through is you got to go out and engage with one another. I've done now 80 town halls as a member of Congress. I go to all different aspects. I believe that, if you're only having comfortable conversations in politics, it means you're not talking to all the people you need to be talking to. But too much of our politics and campaigning, the way that it's engaged, is trying to just put you in front of, people of your own mindset, people that share those beliefs, and we're not doing enough to really punch through and have some of those more difficult conversations.
But when you have those difficult conversations, how do you get to the point of mutual respect?
Yeah, first and foremost by going, when I go to a town that I lost, I went to this town and I lost by 25 points and did a town hall there, certainly showing up, and I stand before them and say, whether you vote for me or not, you're my boss and my job is to serve you. The fact that I show up and I talk to them, it shows them respect, that respect that I have for them, and try to engage. And what I'll say is not only focusing in on the issues of difference, but for instance, I work together in a bipartisan way in the most Republican part of New Jersey, Ocean County, to deliver on a brand new VA health center for our veterans that just opened a few days ago. $60 million state-of-the-art facility. That's something tangible. So let's not just focus in on the most controversial issues, but, mental health crisis right now, especially amongst youth, our kids. Actions like the opioid crisis, about infrastructure, about veterans, those are things that we can really build a common agenda around.
So do you think that misinformation is the problem? Does that add to, what's going on, the distrust, the dislike?
That's certainly part of it, misinformation. There's also disinformation. Some people are actively trying to put false information before people. But it's also the siloing that happens over social media, and also the separation. People feel more anonymous, more distant from people online. So they will use vocabulary, talk to each other in ways that they probably won't if they were talking face-to-face with somebody.
What can we do about it?
Well, look, I mean, I think that this is something where, I have been trying to push for instance, a major investment in civics education as a country. The 250th anniversary of America is coming up in a little over a year. I want to use that as a moment to supercharge, a public service program, a national service program in our country to try to rebuild civics, civil society organizations and structures, civic groups and other things like that, knit a foundation in that way. That's one aspect of it. But look, another aspect of it is, I try to conduct myself in a way where I can show that I am somebody who's trying to be a representative for everybody. I use one filter in my work that I do, which is, am I okay if my 7-year-old and 9-year-old hear me say the things that I say in politics or do the things that I do in politics? And I think we need to make sure we're setting a good example for our kids.
So speaking of your 7 and 9-year-old kids, if it's your turn to make a meal in your house, what's your specialty?
Yeah, I am a barbecue fanatic. Like I'm that guy that's like grilling when there's like 6 inches of snow outside.
What do you grill?
I love ribs. I make a mean rack of ribs. I also love to cook some Korean barbecue. I can't help it. It's my upbringing. But like, that kind of stuff I love to do. But anything, flipping burgers, barbecue chicken wings, like I just love it. That's my main thing that I love to do.
So how do you unwind?
I'm a musician. Sometimes, the other day I came home late from campaigning and I just banged around on the piano for a while. I play guitar. I just, that's what helps me unwind. I can't say I'm as good as I used to be.
Is there any kind of music that you prefer? Like, do you like jazz? Do you like classical, rock? Heavy metal?
I would say, well, I was trained classically as a cellist, but I play a lot of kind of more folk rock and kind of improv jazz, especially with piano.
So is there anything or anyone that inspires you?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I am somebody that's, deeply inspired by, music. I mean, I got my start in cello, I told you, because of great performers like Yo-Yo Ma. Like, I love seeing people who have who just excel with what they do. So, whether it's across sports or, other aspects, I just love people who've been able to just hone in on their craft. And it shows that even after decades of doing, they still love it.
So if you could wave a magic wand and pass one piece of legislation, what would your dream bill be?
Universal health care.
Really?
Yeah, we need to, it's one of the deepest injustices of our society that people go bankrupt for needing care. My father recently had a health emergency, and he's in tough shape right now. And we're trying to figure out as a family how to deal with that. But, he does not have the resources for the kind of care that he needs as he's getting older. And I just think that's shameful. We're the richest, most powerful country in the world. We should be able to take care of those that need support.
So speaking of the voters of New Jersey, why should they choose you to represent them in Washington?
Well, I hope people in New Jersey have seen me as someone who's trying to move past this toxicity of politics. I'm somebody who worked under both Republicans and Democrats, the Bush administration, the Obama administration. I'm just trying to deliver, the work that I did to lower prescription drug costs. Starting next January, no senior in America on Medicare will ever have to pay more than $166 a month for their prescription drugs because of legislation I helped co-author and pass into law. And that's something that came directly out of work that I did with these town halls, trying to be responsive, that new VA health center I was saying, that state-of-the-art facility. I'm just trying to solve these problems, not get caught up. I'm not chasing my ego and ambition. I never thought that I'd run for office. I'm just a public school kid, a son of immigrants, a dad of 2 little boys that just worries about what kind of America my kids are going to grow up in.
So do you think that you bring something to the Senate if you're elected that your opponent does not? Well,
first and foremost, I think I'm ready day one. I'm somebody that's worked in national security. I worked out in Afghanistan, risked my life for this country as a civilian embedded with the military. worked at the White House 6 years representing a divided district. So I can immediately step in, especially during these very difficult times right now where people are worried about globally what's happening, domestically what's happening. And I have a proven track record. They don't have to take my word for it. They've seen the legislation that I've been able to push forward in that type of way. And I believe that I'm somebody that's more in line with the viewpoints of many people in New Jersey right now. So I think that, right now that's what people are looking for.
Andy Kim, we wish you good luck. Thank you for joining us, and thank you at home for joining us as well. We're back with a bonus conversation with Curtis Bashaw. So, you're in the home stretch of your campaign. What have you learned so far about the campaign that you never expected to learn when you started?
Wow. Well, first of all, we've put 77,000 miles on the car
77,000
since January
miles?
15th.
Come
so
on.
I've learned that New Jersey is a very big, small state. That's one.
And you need a new car?
It's still holding together, a little bit of Scotch tape. But no, it's been the most amazing thing, Marcia, to travel across New Jersey and talk to voters. I started this morning in the Secaucus train station. What I've learned, big picture, in this state is that we are one state. We are independent-minded, scrappy, the most diverse state, and the citizens are ready for change. They want to do better for New Jersey. They want an outsider, not a career politician. And so I've felt welcome in all these conversations, not just with Republicans, but with those unaffiliated voters and the Democrats.
So has anything surprised you?
Yes, plenty of things have surprised me. It surprised me how mountainous and beautiful Sussex County was. I didn't know there were so many lakes. It surprised me how angry so many people are about the border crisis and the fact that there are 500,000 people living in our state. It's not just making people feel unsafe. It's unfair. It's a non-level playing field, and it's costing us a fortune. So we talk about scarce resources, housing. So the anger about that, they want it redirected. It should be common sense to separate border security from immigration policy.
So, speaking about the anger, it really appears that we are a nation divided. Have you found that to be the case as you've traveled and talked to voters? And do you have any ideas about how we can fix that?
I actually have been surprised running this campaign in New Jersey how much voters agree on issues.
Really?
And they're being stretched out of the boxes we tick. So, we're supposed to be all this if we're a Republican or all this if we're a Democrat. And I feel like voters are moving back and forth on issues, which makes them very receptive to our candidacy. I'm driving up the center lane of the New Jersey Turnpike here, and my opponent's sort of on the left shoulder. And I'm a guy who's, I'm a businessman. I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm a socially moderate person. I'm a married gay man. I'm pro-choice. I don't think the government, it's freedom in our homes telling us what to do, whether it's keeping secrets from parents about their kids, whether it's a woman's reproductive health freedom, whether it's my ability to be married to my husband. People don't want that. They don't want to talk about it. They're exhausted by it. But they do want a secure border. They want to know who their neighbors are.
So do you think that misinformation is a problem that divides us?
I think that we have been putting each other into boxes too much, requiring these orthodoxies. And I think America was never intended to be run by the extremes. The extremists in both parties think that it's winner take all. They're in a wrestling match, but America was both and. We're supposed to live together to give each other the space to pursue our happiness.
So let's switch gears for a moment. If it's your turn to cook dinner, what are you going to make? What's your specialty?
I am very good at making a roast chicken. I like to stuff it with, lemons and onions and a little bit of rosemary. And it's an easy thing to do. And it looks like you did an amazing home-cooked meal.
So I'm coming. When can I come for dinner? No,
Sunday nights usually, but not until after November 5th.
How do you unwind?
My husband and I have a farm in Cape May. And we have greenhouses there. We grow food for our restaurants. My husband also has his own restaurant, Luis's in Cape May. So I go there. I work in the dirt. There's something about...
You like to dig in the dirt?
I do. I love to plant things, harvest things, grow food. It's very satisfying and it's very grounding.
So is there anything or anyone that inspires you?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, all kinds of people. You know, I was inspired yesterday in Newark. I went door knocking, and this man that took us around his neighborhood exuded such pride in his neighborhood. And I would meet his neighbors, and everyone said, oh my, you know, Willie, he cleans up everything. He cleans the park. He takes out the trash. What a civic duty he provides. He's beloved by his neighbors, and I found it very inspiring.
So if you could wave a magic wand and pass any bill in the Senate if you get elected, what would your dream bill be? What would your dream legislation be?
Wow, I would love a bipartisan legislation quickly that secures the border so we know who's coming into our homeland, just like I lock the back doors of my house at night, but that we would really roll up our sleeves as Republicans and Democrats and write a bipartisan immigration policy that works for America, that welcomes people. We need the help. We need to grow our economy. I think that would be a huge relief to the country to get that done.
So speaking to the voters of New Jersey, why should they elect you to represent them?
Because I'm a political outsider and a businessman. You know, I've built a company from 25 to 1,000 employees over 35 years, Marcia, payroll by payroll, budget by budget. I understand what it is to be on the front lines of the economy, to buy health insurance for our employees, how much food costs. We need that perspective in D.C. We can't, as I said earlier, spend our way to prosperity, regulate or mandate our way to innovation and growth, and we can't tax our way to fiscal health.
I wonder if you think that you bring something to the Senate that your opponent does not.
Look, my opponents voted 99% of the times with his party. He is a rubber stamp, a DC insider, a career politician. He's never signed the front side of a paycheck. I am a person that's been in the private sector, but I'm a citizen. I was appointed by a Democratic governor to run one of the largest state agencies in New Jersey, the Casino Reinvestment Authority. I did that for 2 years, worked with Democrats and Republicans. I like to bring people together to get things done. I don't need this job. I'm not beholden to my party. I beat Trump's endorsed candidate in the primary. I'm a different kind of candidate. I'm a different kind of Republican, and I'm doing this because I believe that we can do better for New Jersey. That's my mission.
So we wish you good luck. Thank you for being here. And you promised if you win, you're going to come back.
I will. It'll be a big upset, and we'll look forward to sitting right here with you and talking about it.
Thank you for being here, and thank you at home for joining us as well.